Welcome to
The Neapolitan
Scoop Podcast.
My name is Stef.
My name is Shay.
And my name is Rose. Thank you for tuning in to the Neapolitan Scoop Podcast, where you will get your weekly scoop. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, what are you waiting for? Go subscribe right now. Today's topic is being women in the workplace. Yes, we are in 2023, yet women are still fighting to earn their places in the workplace. According to Amanda Martin Cowie, who wrote an article for the Census Bureau in March of 2023, this year, disparities between men and women continue even today. She goes on to say that even though men lost more jobs than women in between the periods of 2019 through 2021, they continue to outnumber women among full-time, year-round paid workers or work. The numbers go from 61.7 million compared to 47.8 million men versus women or men to women. In addition, men continue to earn more than women overall and in many of the occupations that grew within or during the pandemic.
All right, awesome. So we'll go ahead and hop into the questions. Thank you so much, Rose, for that. So question number one. Let's see here. So I guess a really good question. So what's the most dangerous behavior / trait that you have seen derail female leaders' careers? I think that's a really good one because I think it can be a couple things if you think about it.
I think maybe trying to control everything. So being controlling. I think it can be a good thing. But when you try to control every single thing as a woman, you're looked at as you're being a bitch. Plain and simple. It's like, oh, she's a controlling bitch, right? Now, if you're a man, they'll be like, oh, well, he has everything in order and he likes to keep his business straight. So I think that's like one of the things that will lead women into, failing or maybe not being as successful as their counterparts.
Okay. Steph, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. Actually, when Rose was saying that men are looked at just like in the household as wearing the pants, when they bring up something or when they, go against what everybody else is saying, it's like, oh, they're being assertive. But when women say it, it's like Rose say, oh, she's being a bitch. And we're looked at as in, you should stay in a woman's place, which raises the question, well, what is a woman's place in the workplace? So I agree. It's like we're always fighting to prove ourselves. Men just have to put their foot down, and it's something that's praised.
Right.
Versus us women, we put our foot down, and now it's like, how dare you? And now all the odds are against you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. I think my perspective is a little similar as well. But I guess not with men in mind. It's just the need for control, just coming from different environments of like backgrounds of like where I worked and things like that. I feel like there's always a need for someone to feel like they have to have control over everything that's going on. And I think that's what makes it a lot harder for us because don't nobody really want to be working under someone who feels like they have to be in control of every aspect of what's going on. Like, I think a good leader is someone who's able to delegate and is able to give tasks to someone and trust that they're going to do it, and follow up versus like hovering or like, or I'm the boss, do what I say. And if I give you all this work, you got to do it. It's just that need for control, I think. So with men just to the side, I think it's just, again, the need for control. And of course, you get people who, when they get, to a new level, I think the control factor is also seen as a good thing in a sense. It's seen as, oh, this is some person who is like assertive in a sense. But to maybe the people under them, it's seen as a control factor. They want to be in control of every aspect versus, oh, I'm going to help, you guys get to another level. I'm going to assist, or show you the right way or teach you how to grow. It's more like just control.
Yeah. And like you said, I guess that's one of the characteristics of a good leader is knowing how to balance control and, not being too micromanaging. Like, how do you create the two? How do you create that balance? But like I said, it's a little bit harder for women because, when we do try to be in control, people look at it automatically as in, I don't know. It's I guess, let me see. How do I put this? It's kind of like at home, when you're with family, like the man is always looked at as the head of the house. I think it's similar at work. It's like when a man is, for example, if you have two supervisors and one is a woman and one is a man, I feel like just naturally staff is going to gravitate towards giving the man a little bit more respect when they're assertive versus if the woman is assertive, it's like, like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, such and such told me this, and right. The man could have said the same thing, and just because a woman said it, it's just looked at as in, oh, like how it's that how right. dare she attitude is what gets me. Like
how dare she tell me what to do?
Yes, like
how dare she correct me?
But what was it that we were hearing today, Shay? The Karen. The audacity of her.
The audacity of her. How dare her? How dare she?
How dare she?
It's the audacity for me. Like, what? Yeah. So it's just so much harder, I think, for women in the workplace for us to.
And then you always have to watch what you say or like how you say things. You can't say it too sternly. Again, like Rose said, you can come off like as being, I don't know if you said it, but like a bitch. You can come off as a bitch if you're being too stern with how you say things. So you got to speak like gently. You got to speak in a way that people don't take offense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Versus coming off like demanding. It's a tone thing as well. Mm-hmm. So we always have to watch her tone. And that's at home and in the workplace. I can think of somebody right now who sometimes I don't like her tone, but who knows how she really meant it. But her tone is just like, okay.
I'll say this. I guess that also raises the question, like, what was the question? Do it again.
Me and Shay are just being.
We'll tell you later if you don't get who it is.
I can imagine. But
oh, child.
I mean, I guess it also like goes back to like your staff, like, and maybe I don't know. It's just women are looked at as you're supposed to be nurturing, you're supposed to be kind, soft-spoken, respectful, and all of these things that carry so much weight, and men are just supposed to be men.
Whatever that is,
which carries.
They don't even know how to do that.
And no, I'm not knocking them in because I don't know what men go through, but I know that y'all can't possibly go through half of the things that we go through.
I think for me, it's like, why are men allowed to be driven and they're looked up? They're like, oh my God, they're so driven. They're so career focused. But as soon as we as women become career focused or driven or, have that goal in mind, they're like, oh, well, she's very greedy, or she's not. Why are we not driven? Why do we have to be everything but driven?
Yeah.
Why do we have to be everything but driven?
I mean, we already got to be everything. Why we can't be driven too? It's like, I feel like,
I mean, everything we do is driven. Like,
yeah, you're already driven to be a good mother. You're already driven to take care of your household. You're already driven to get up and go to work every day and provide for your family. Then you got to be driven to come home and do all of the above and still,
preach.
Raise your kids, be a professional, have a job, bring in income. It's like,
and do it all with a smile on your face.
And then stay fine.
And be happy about it. And then stay fine. And drink all the water.
Yeah.
Okay, water.
I didn't know where that one came from either, but I was like, yes.
I feel like it has a lot to do with health. So when you said be
Yeah, because that's
fine,
how you
I'm
keep
thinking like workout and we
that's
have
how
to
you
look
keep the
good.
nice skin, like
Good
you get pretty
skin.
skin. And
I'm gonna tell
feel
you
like
now, my skin comes from
That's what makeup is for.
girl, nah, but makeup make it worse sometimes. It's sometimes you got to get an acne treatment or something like a skin system.
Yeah.
Because I don't drink a lot of water. I drink water, but I don't drink a lot of water. But my skin
A bottle every 3 days.
Oh,
Every
did you
3 to
know
4
Shay?
days.
You said a bottle every 3 days?
No,
3 to
she
4
lying.
days.
She don't know what I do when I come home.
She drinks it when she leaves work
That
Yeah, I drink it with my food at home
while she's in traffic.
After she had 2 or 3 mimosas on her way home.
I wish.
But I'll say this. I also feel like not only do we have to prove ourselves, in a workplace, like to prove that, we can do our job well and that we can be trusted to do our job. But I feel like we're also tested in the sense of like women always competing with other women. So not only do we have to compete with men, but sometimes we also have to compete with other women just because we are, I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know how you call that, but like it comes back in a circle. Like we are so in our head thinking, okay, we have to prove ourselves in the workplace because we are a woman and we already weren't supposed to be a part of the workplace. It was a man thing. And now we're here. So we have to prove ourselves next to the man. But then it becomes like that crabs in the bucket type of situation where if one female makes it to the top, the one at the bottom is trying to drag the other one down instead of trying to lift the other one up. So it's almost like we're at war 24/7.
I love that analogy. I can almost imagine the crabs in the bucket. I love it.
Yes. It's like, if I ain't making it, you ain't making it. Like it's just pulling each other down instead of lifting each other up. I'm like, we already got so many odds against us. Like, why are we fighting each other?
Right.
So it's just war.
Yeah.
I should have wore a camouflage outfit today. I feel like
why?
But I think sometimes too, it's people are like
with the stuff on the eyes.
They're afraid that you're gonna become, their boss, or they're afraid that you're gonna be more than they are, or I think sometimes they say that that's one of the biggest compliments when somebody's hating on you, because it's like, oh, they're seeing what you're doing and they're hating on you because they can't do it. So to me, it's like this year I've learned to be a better person when it comes to that. I think I've held my Lord knows, Shay knows. I hold my tongue a lot of times now, because it's just like you see people and you're just like,
they say hate is the greatest form of admiration.
Yes, that's what it is.
If somebody hating on you, sis, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're doing something right.
I always try. Sometimes people get jealous. Even sometimes I may have a habit of getting jealous. But what I have in the back of my head is that, I'm going to block my blessings by being jealous. You don't get nowhere by like talking down on nobody. You don't get nowhere by wishing bad on nobody. You don't get nowhere by hating on nobody. So everybody that's hating, they're in the position they is right now, but simply because that's your energy. That's the vibe you're putting out into the earth. If you can't be happy for somebody, don't expect nobody to be happy for you.
I lost my headphones.
If you ever even get in the position where somebody can applaud you for your success. So in a sense, when somebody is doing something well, I always make sure, hey, I'm happy. I'm telling myself I'm happy. I'm putting it out there that I'm happy for you. So at the end of the day, I don't block my blessings. I done seen so many times where people done sit there and wish bad on me, and you'd be surprised how my God don't play about me. Them same people who done sit there and wish bad on me, something bad happens to them, and I just be like, well,
karma's a bitch.
And play with the wrong God's child.
And the sad thing is, like, when that karma comes back around and you witness it, you feel so. I be feeling so bad for them. I be like, I feel bad for you, but I don't.
Karma is so sweet.
It be like, so damn.
Because karma gonna come on my ass, and when she come, I just accept it. But when it's on somebody else who done me wrong, I'm just like, well, it's just your turn. I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Yep. That.
True. That's true. The energy you put out is the energy you get back.
Right.
So,
that's a fact.
I don't think of course we all have that sense. Honestly, when I don't want to translate it as jealousy, because when I see somebody doing better than me, I consider it like just what's the word I'm looking for? It's something motivation. That's what it is. That's the word. I see it as motivation. It's like, if I have a friend that is making it out here in life, that just makes me feel like I am closer to making it, because sis, you made it. So that means if we are intertwined, we are somewhere connected. And if you made it, then that's one step ahead of me making it. It's not like, oh, you made it. Now I can't stand you. Now I'm going to be throwing shade at you. Now I'm going to be looking at you sideways. Now I'm going to be trying to set you up for failure. No, sis, I'm going to clap for you because it's your turn. It's your time to shine. And when my time comes, I'm going to shine and I'm going to expect you to clap for me.
And hope you clap for me. Yeah. I guess you're right. I wouldn't classify it as jealousy either, because that's such a negative word. Because I mean, I don't believe I've ever been jealous of anybody in the workplace and wanted to, wished on their downfall and hope they fail. It's not like that. But if I see somebody win like $1 million or some dollars, I might feel the way, because why I can't win $1 million?
I'm gonna be like, girl, what numbers you play? You play mine.
It's never in a million years they're gonna come back up again.
I think for me, it's like, they say surround yourself with people that you want to motivate you and people that you want to be like. So if I see somebody that I hang around with being successful or, getting a promotion, growing, being better than I am, you're going to be happy for that person because at the end of the day, hey, if you're growing, what's going to happen is I'm going to learn from your growth and you're going to be able to teach me. And at one time I'm going to grow just like you did. So I don't know about jealousy. I think like Shay, sometimes you're like, man, when is it my turn? Sometimes you're just like, I'm over here and okay, this and this has happened. I'm doing the same thing that you're like, I'm doing the same thing this person is, but why is it that, their turn came before mine? But they say God's time is perfect and he knows when he does everything. So
it's all on his time and not really yours.
Yeah.
And I just think about all the times opportunities that have passed me up. And now I'm like, I'm grateful for the ones that passed me up, because you know what? It probably wasn't good. I probably wouldn't have done my best in any situation that has passed me up. And so, you start to think about stuff like that. Well, we thought about why not me? And in a sense, fast forward, when you get in your place, wherever that may be, you're like, okay, now I know why not me. I know why
it wasn't for you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go.
Exactly right. That's why it wasn't you at that time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next question. What factors impact a woman's ability to lead others?
Intimidation. I think women get intimidated because, again, typically all odds are against us. We were raised from a very young age that we are supposed to be a certain way, act a certain way, have certain standards. So when and usually the man is the one that dominates. So when we get in the workplace and we get into a role of leadership, especially when there's men that's a part of it that are looking at you like, who are you to be in this role? Who are you to tell me what to do? It creates intimidation for the woman. And, sometimes that creates the woman, it keeps her from being her best because she's too busy trying to, keep everybody calm. And then we have that normal mothering nature where we don't want to be mean. And that's where the bitch comes out at. What they translate as the bitch. It's not the bitch. We're being assertive.
Right.
We're saying what we said. And I said what I said. But they translate it as being a bitch, But if you don't have that courage to say, I said what I said, then you get easily intimidated. And then you get drawn into all of the, I'm trying to please this person. I'm trying to please that person. And it creates a culture of nobody has their shit together.
Yeah.
So intimidation, I think, is like one of the number one things that I think women feel when they get in a leadership role.
I agree with you. I think fear of failing, not only for yourself, but for those people that maybe saw you where you are and for me personally, it might be that sometimes I hold myself back because I'm like, well, what if this happens? What if I do something and, my superiors don't like it? Or what happens if I take the charge or take the lead and then it comes back and bites me in the ass? So I think fear holds us back a lot. It's just fear of getting retaliated on, fear of being punished, fear of failing, fear of everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Just going back to what I said in the beginning. So what factors affect us to lead? I think again, just going back to just that need for control. You can't control everything. And I think when people try to control everything, it just comes off bad. It comes off like you're doing too much. Again, like we talked about micromanaging. You can't be like that. And I feel like when you're a controller, that it does come off negative. It does come off as like people may not like you. People may avoid you. They may go around to somebody else because they don't want to deal with you for whatever reason that may be. So I think it's the need for control as well, because you do have women who are very controlling, very controlling for whatever that reason may be on the personal end. Or it's that I'm the boss type of mentality. You can't be like that. I feel like in order to be on a team, you have to be willing to put yourself a part of that team, but you can't try to separate yourself so much to where people just, okay, well, such and so, how they just talk on the side type of stuff.
But do you think that also comes from, like, for me, I think when it comes to work, I'm very controlling of my work. And it's because, how they say if you want something done right, you need to do it yourself. So there's some things that I know I want a certain way. There's certain things that I want to go a certain way. And I know that if I don't do it myself, it's not going to happen. So do you think maybe that's where control comes from too, as well? Like people not wanting to kind of be okay with failing or be okay with somebody else not doing things to how you like it?
I feel like...
Go ahead.
Okay. I feel like if you are in a environment that supports you, that backs you up, you wouldn't feel that need to control your work. But when you're in an environment where, you're not being trusted, you're, looked at as in, oh, well, do as I say, not as I do, or, whatever.
Right.
It's like, you feel like you have to be 10 steps ahead of the game, because if you're not 10 steps ahead of the game, then you're going to fail. But if you're in a supportive environment that's supporting you, that's backing you up, you're going to know that you have backup, and you're going to be able to, lay back and be like, okay, I don't have to be in so much control. But when you're in an uncontrollable environment, you're going to automatically feel the need to control things.
Yeah.
So it all, and then not to mention that when you feel the need to, it's kind of like a defense mechanism. Your body automatically says, I need to be in control because no one else is.
Yeah.
And if I don't do it, it's not going to be done correctly, or it's not going to be done at all. So you automatically go into defense mode, which can also be mentally draining, physically draining. Like at the end of the day, you're tired because now you've had to try to figure out everybody else, and you had to try to figure out all the dodgeballs that are coming to you and try to dodge them and see like what, like what's going to come at me next. Let me prepare for that. Let me prepare for this. Then that builds anxiety, which we talked about earlier. So,
Yes.
It's just, again, and then you got to go home and dodgeball's there, So it's like being women, trying to control the home and then trying to prove ourselves at work. It's like, when do we get a break? Right. And yes, we do want our independence. We do want, we do want to work for our money, but why does it have to be so hard? Like, I feel like sometimes men just go to work and they're like, oh,
in their bubble.
And I make more money than you.
Oh, don't even get me started.
I was going to say, that's a whole other topic for another day.
Yes.
Not to knock my men, but y'all do have a advantage to women. I mean, look, we birth babies, whole babies. Like, come on.
You gotta
don't get
them and wake up with them most of the time.
Mother Nature comes every month for us. We're cramping. We have our hormones are all over the place because we're going from here to here to here. So we're constantly at a battle. That's why I said I should have wore a camouflage outfit today, because we're constantly battling every day, every second, every minute.
All right. So let's see. Have you ever been afraid of the job? That's the next one. Or have you ever been afraid of the job? I'm going to start by just saying yes, because I never know what I'm really getting myself into. I feel like you can read the job description all day long and you never really know what that job is really going to entail, what your duties are going to be until you get into that job. And sometimes I'm always like hoping that I can just do my job that's expected of me well. So thus, I'm kind of like fearing it beforehand, but it never stopped me from applying. But I'm definitely sometimes fearful of the job itself. So I'm maybe questioning if I'm capable, knowing I am capable, knowing I can learn anything as long as I'm taught and given the tools to be able to do my job. But it's just like afraid of like the unknownness of the job.
I think you bring up a good point. I don't think I'm scared of working. I'm scared of what comes with the job sometimes. It's always the other duties as needed that gets us, right? Because they're not going to list everything that's in your job description. It's the other duties as needed. And next thing you know, they have you cleaning a toilet and that wasn't in your job description. So it's, it's that. I think it's being scared to say no to something that I didn't sign up for and them hitting me with the, oh, well, you signed that you were going to do duties that we wanted you to do. I think my biggest fear within my work would always be to be questioned, knowing like, hey, I'm here because you trust me to do a job. But once those people start like not trusting you, and I think you brought a good point where Shay, you said they give you the tools, and then if you're not given the tools and you're just expected to grow by yourself, I think it becomes like, I don't know, it's scary. It's scary to try to grow by yourself because then you have to find your way and find your route. And, you're not being told whether what you're doing is right or not until you fuck up, right? That's when they'll be like, oh, you fucked up. You didn't do it.
So I don't think I'm this way. Well, where was all this advice when I needed it before I fucked up?
Yeah.
Did you not realize I was fucking up when I was fucking up?
Right.
Why didn't you tell me then? Why are you waiting till now till I've fucked up quite a few times?
Because of secret agendas.
That I think that's what that's what I'm scared of. People's secret agenda, not knowing where I fall in their agenda, because for all I know, they're planning against me, and I'm over here trying to do a job. So I think that's the scary portion when you don't know what comes with the job.
And you know what? Now that you mention that, I'll say this. And I'm speaking for all of us here and for all women, but there's always something about being a pretty woman in the workplace. So, like you said, it goes back to the crabs in the bucket. It's like you see a pretty woman and it's like you were the pretty woman before the pretty woman got there. And now it's like, oh, you're getting all the attention. So I don't want you here. You know? Because you're getting all the attention from all these people that I was getting attention from. There goes the jealousy. And it's like, sis, maybe you should try to learn from me. I mean, maybe, I don't understand why women have to be so competitive against each other. I just don't know. Like, if you see another pretty woman, compliment her. Compliment her. Say, girl, you're pretty. Because I've met so many pretty women who have such low self-esteem because they are pretty, and people just assume that, oh, she thinks she's all
they're
that.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Or they're dumb.
Yeah, or that. They're dingy. They're pretty dingy girls. And I'm like, no, I got plenty of common sense. But
or she's pretty, but she's a bitch. It's always why are we bitches? Why we gotta be bitches?
Because we're assertive. Because I said what I said. Point blank period. Bitch, you mad? No, I'm just kidding. Bitch, you mad? No.
But they are. And it's like, I think I never thought about that way, being Because to me, it's always when you're charismatic or when you're not afraid to speak your mind, and people, respect that sometimes. And then I think sometimes other women get maybe deterred, or they start, saying, well, she's always saying this or saying that, and why does she get away with this? It's not that I get away with it, it's that I don't put up with shit,
Yeah.
and I think there's a lot to getting where you are, and sometimes people don't understand that. It's like, hey, maybe I have a different way of speaking to a certain someone, and that's because we know each other for 10 years, or we know each other for 15 years, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily mean I'm disrespectful. It's like, I don't know, we see each other in a hall and be like, hey bitch, what's up bitch, blah, blah. And it's like, and then somebody gets offended, and now you're sitting in HR.
Well, I only said that because they just took it wrong.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, people, I may say something and it's not my fault how you translate it,
That.
So I think that's also another thing that like people struggle with. It's like, you can't take everything personal.
Yes.
It's like, if someone says something to you and you translate it differently, then you can't get mad about it. You can address it. You can say, hey, this made me feel this way. What you said, you may have not intended it to come out that way, but this is how it made me feel. And I'm just letting you know this for future reference, Yeah. But you can't just automatically just be like, oh, she's a bitch because she
offended me.
Yeah, no, sis, you offended yourself, because I don't know what you've been through in life that may have caused you to think that what I said was personal. It wasn't personal. It was all business. Shout out to my Instagram. Strictly business.
No, not the self-promotion.
Shout out to my Instagram, take your business.
Shout out to my Instagram.
But yeah,
follow me on YouTube, Instagram.
And I think that's another thing in the workplace. Like, women are so afraid to say what they mean because of the way someone else is going to translate it. And it's like, I feel like people as adults, people should be able to express their opinions without you taking it personally, and I honestly think that's the only way you're going to grow, because if you take someone else's opinion and say, okay, well, let me consider what you just said. It may work, it may not, but let me at least consider it. Let me at least put some thought to it. But when you don't, a lot of us women, because we are women, and when we suggest something, people don't have an open mind to it, because again, it goes back to the, when we were little kids, we were supposed to be women. We were supposed to have kids. We were supposed to stay at home and clean a house and keep bearing children. We weren't supposed to have a brain.
We were supposed to stay at home. We were supposed to.
I mean, we could go outside and sweep we could go outside and sweep the porch, watch the kids play outside. But we were supposed to wear our little skirts, our little dresses. Lord behold, we wear some pants or some, shorts. But what I'm saying is, like, our brains, we weren't supposed to have brains.
Right.
We weren't. Okay, yeah. So when we use our brains, people take it personally.
People get insulted.
Yes.
To see a woman that is not only beautiful, but assertive, and that knows what she wants and knows what she's talking about, and is a full professional, and scares other people because, hey, it's not my fault that you don't know your job. Or, hey, it's not my fault that you feel like you're not worth whatever it is. I don't know.
It kind of goes back to, like, y'all know I'm always revert back to the family environment dynamic, because it goes back to, in the family dynamic, if the woman makes more than the man, what happens to the man? Their ego gets
bruised.
Oh, yes.
What is it called? They're emasculated?
Yes. So it's like, again, how dare she make more money than me? So it's the same thing.
Even if it's not him, it's the friends. Like, oh, your wife makes more money than you?
Oh, yeah. They gonna definitely clown you.
Like, you got a sugar mama.
Yes. So that's the same thing in the workplace. In the workplace, like, if a woman is, like, powerful and assertive, the man is looking at her either sideways because he wants your position, or they're looking at you sideways because, again, you're a woman and you're not going to tell me what to do. So, again, constant struggle.
Mm.
Constant struggle. It happens at home. We struggle at home. We struggle at work. We struggle
Everywhere.
at the grocery store. Like everywhere.
What's the struggle at the grocery store?
I don't know, but I feel like there's one.
Cat calls, trying to get the kids in the car while you're shopping, trying to get everything off your groceries list while you have somebody else following you around the store. When you're a minority, people thinking you're there, looking at you sideways. It's a struggle everywhere for us. Like,
yeah, it's true. Honestly, now that I think about it, now that Rose points, I told you I felt like it was a struggle at the grocery store. I just couldn't pinpoint it out. But it is.
Yeah, point it out. Yeah,
like,
is it? Okay,
you think about it. Let's not be a woman that you go to the grocery store and your man is not next to you and you got 2 babies. And they're like, oh.
Right, because then they judging you. What a daddy at? Do they even have daddies in their life? What a father.
Oh,
and don't be black.
Snatty.
Don't be black or Hispanic.
Snatty.
Yeah, like, oh, look at her with all these kids.
No, I
bet you she got food stamps. She's paying with food stamps.
You know how many times I done went in the grocery store and I done had a shitload of groceries and I thought to myself, I bet they think I'm paying with food stamps and I gotta pull out this goddamn Navy Federal fucking debit card and pay that shit out of my damn pocket.
But whenever I see women with cartfuls of foods, I'm like, man, I wish I had food stamps.
Look, I would not look. I would probably pull out that little card.
Swipe. How do I swipe this thing? What's the pin? How do I put it in? Can I get 50% off? Because I'm trying to make it last.
And then I'll still come up there with the coupons.
Did you know you can use a food stamp card at Sam's?
Girl, you can use food stamps on Amazon.
Oh yeah, I knew about
Amazon.
But the Sam's thing, I figured that out when I went there one day.
I'm gonna apply again though. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. I'm not gonna stop applying. They
gonna keep an eye on your ass every change.
Dang,
I just think it's crazy, like how I don't understand. Like you have to literally be in what I would consider like just under broke.
No, you have to be broke.
Yeah, you have to be broke to get food stamps, and it's crazy because like what they consider minimum wage. Yeah, I'm broke too. I got bills, all kind of stuff.
And you know why we broke? Because they taking taxes out of our checks. Them same
and
taxes
kids
that we can't get food stamps from. Yes.
And we got bills and all kind of stuff, but they want to take what you gross and say, "Oh, well, you can afford it." No, the fuck I can't.
Do y'all know?
Otherwise, I wouldn't fill out this application.
We want to know how to get food stamps because it's a struggle.
And it's like you can't even lie because if you put like, "Oh, I work at this job," I don't know, get somebody to make some fake checks or some shit, just hypothetically speaking.
I'm not making fake checks.
Just hypothetically speaking. But they know what you make because they can figure out your job before you even tell them. So it's
there's certain jobs that do the e-sign or like the e-pin or whatever. They register so like the government can pull you up. So it's certain type of jobs. Like if you're working a cash job, they won't be able to pull you up. But if you're working your Social Security, they can figure out where you're working.
It's always
I don't know how these people do it. We're all like, goddamn.
It's sad, y'all, because I be going through my groceries. My cart be looking so sad at the grocery store.
Girl,
so sad.
And here I am, a single parent. It's just me on my income and my child. I got a whole child, and they be like, "Nope, denied." Really.
But then the people that have these are driving brand new Cadillacs, gold chains about this big.
Right. Something ain't adding up.
The math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing.
It ain't.
But I guess I ain't gonna hate on nobody's getting.
We ain't gonna be no haters. We gonna uplift.
Y'all.
That's why I said if you know how to get food stamps, hit me up because I want to get them too.
If you got them. Okay, if you got them,
we need milk.
Hit your girl up. Okay.
She said she give us some milk
and eggs
and cheese.
Look,
the whole WIC combo.
Not the WIC, not the government.
The cereal. Now that's the one thing I've always been given is damn WIC. Shout out to WIC, man, because they ain't never denied me. I've been going there. Yes. They never deny me, girl. I think WIC comes automatically though. Like for the most part, if you're pregnant, like they'll give it to you. But
yeah, I think if you apply, like they have a good like funding because not a lot of women go for WIC anymore. Yeah, that's really good.
A lot of women are breastfeeding now, so a lot of them don't go. I commend that. I'm like, I'm so happy for our generation. Yes, because for a minute, like people were
Kids
strictly
were getting breastfed.
Yes, and now it's like we take so much pride in it, and I just love it.
So natural.
Another thing that affects us in the workplace, breastfeeding.
Yes, I was just gonna say that's another struggle in general. Just being a mom in the workplace, having to have like things that require you, even as a mom, while you're working. Like, oh, I need to take off for doctor's visits. My child is sick. I can't come in today. I need a special room to breastfeed in. For a long period of time, a certain place of employment did not have a station for breastfeeding women to breastfeed, so they have to make one up for somebody. And I'm just like, y'all never had women that breastfed before, so why is it something that's brand new?
I remember. I remember.
But that's you're right. Feeling like you're asking
in the back room
when you ask for things like that.
Yeah,
the back room.
And then don't take too long because now they're wondering where you're at.
Now you got to clock out for a lunch break.
And are you just trying to feed your baby? That's it.
To pump.
I'm trying to feed my child.
Yeah, you got to clock out for a lunch break, all because you have to go pump.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they are, they probably want to see you pumping your breast and be like, okay, that's enough milk.
For proof, right?
How much did you pump this time? Let me see. Let me see the milk.
Let me document it.
Let me see. How many ounces? How many? Oh,
write that down real quick.
That should only take in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Why are you taking 15 minutes to breast pump?
Girl,
it's against policy.
I'm not micromanaging. Like, I'm gonna micromanage my titties. Like, seriously.
She said micromanage my titties.
That's all I had to give.
And it's even harder when you work for people who don't have kids because they don't understand what you're dealing with on a day-to-day. It's hard for me to explain to somebody why certain things are occurring with my child and in my life because they just don't get it. They don't get it. They'll make sure they get it, but they'll use it against you at some point in time.
Or men, even when men have kids, it's like they're not the caregivers, so they don't care. They're like, oh, I could be here till 10 p.m. It's like, well, I can't.
Yeah.
Your wife probably let you stay out till 10, but sir, my kids need to. And that's not people don't understand.
You gotta help pick them up from school. You gotta help parents.
I'm just gonna say that real quick. Like, I'm gonna just commend women because y'all, we really do a lot of shit on a daily basis. Like, we go to, especially if you're a working mom. I'm not even gonna knock the stay-at-home moms because Lord, the only reason I went back to work was because I did not want to stay home. Because
Steph,
it was driving me crazy. Like, but I'm the type of woman that I have to be doing something for myself. Like, I can't just sit at home and watch the babies. Like, I have to feel like I'm doing something. So, not saying that women who stay at home aren't doing anything, but I mean, I have to just like be, I don't know, moving around. So, I'm a very social person, so I can't just be constrained to the house. So, like, we go to work, we come home. That's our second job because when we get off of work, we gotta go pick up the kids, feed the kids, bathe the kids. We like the only moment we get to ourselves is when we're sleeping. Honestly, because even when we're in the bathtub, guess who's sitting there asking you something? The kids,
Mama,
or your significant other,
or that one.
What a remote?
How long you
what
gonna
my
be?
list? You see my keys?
Oh, baby, we got time tonight. You got time?
Sleep.
Like, what? I'm tired.
Sir, I am tired. What did you do all day? God dang.
And then I just feel like you clearly did not do a lot today because you're not tired. You still got energy.
Yeah.
So it's like we do. That's another thing. We gotta go to work. We gotta come home, take care of the kids, make sure shit is lined up, take care of the man, and do that shit all over the next day.
Every single day.
And then we have to
cycle
and fight. We have to go to work and fight for our lives and our integrity and everything. Like,
I'm fighting for my life.
It's true.
Like, I remember when I was breastfeeding, oh my goodness, y'all, like my mind was all over the place. I was just like, I used to leave my milk at work. That's how bad it was.
No.
Yes, I used to leave it at work because I was just
Not the
depopulated.
golden milk.
She
The
was
golden
leaving a creamer for the staff.
And I used to pray that nobody use it as creamer. Like, I hope these people don't think this is creamer, but it's cool. It's very nutritious. But
Some people thought they had some really good coffee creamer.
like, was your coffee?
Oh, it's a little tasty today. I don't know what it is.
It tastes all natural, organic.
But it's just so much. Like, then you got to keep up with the baby schedules. Doctors visits, baseball. Men aren't doing this. We're keeping up with the men's schedules. Like, what?
Because they could better keep up with their own schedule.
I'm like, are you
and then leave alone when you're a single mom.
I've experienced both. I've experienced both, and I would tell you, like, my fiance can get on my nerves most of the time, but I would not want to do this without him.
Right.
So it's hard doing it alone. Like I did it alone once. But I will tell you, I tell him this all the time. I'd be like, look, I prefer you here, but I could do it by myself if I had to.
Period.
It's gonna be hard, but I can make it work.
Yeah. I done did it before. I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to. But
I prefer the good life.
Yeah, I do.
But I can go back to 2 jobs.
Yeah, because we're women. And if we're gonna do what we gotta do when it needs to get
regardless.
Point blank, period.
We're gonna get it done, right?
Yes. So I think that's just how we were born. Like, we're just, look. And that goes back to what you said, Rose, about work earlier. You know, like, you have the mentality where if I don't do it, then, you know, if I don't do it myself, then who else is going to do it? Or if I don't do it myself, they're not going to do it the way I want it to be done. And it's the same way. I think we're just born with that mentality. Like, we're just, people like to make the woman the weaker link, but we are actually like the stronger link.
Stronger one, bro.
Yes.
Like, I was reading an article I think it was a year ago or so, where they were saying that if men experienced the same pain that we go through when we're giving birth, they would die during childbirth.
And it's true.
And there was another one that said that if men had periods like we do, they would have at least 3 days off every week that they had their period. But we're expected to work with full-blown periods, and still do it with a smiling face. And if you have an attitude or you're having a bad day, you're PMSing and your hormones are out of range, and you're expected to keep your problems to yourself and have good days every day, and it's not possible. It's, you don't know, we're humans too.
How many times I've heard like I don't let me have a bad day because I go left, but I don't go left a lot of times. So when I go left, people be like, "The fuck," and then the first thing they say, "Oh, she must be on her period." Why I gotta be on my period? Why can't you just be pissing me the fuck off? Like, why?
It could be just that simple.
No, you are my period right now. You're acting like my period, and you're pissing me off.
You are my period right now. I need to get into telling people that you're being my period right now. You're just.
But yeah, it's just we're held at such a high standard compared to. I really like. I can look. And this is a Libra of me. I believe in balance, so I don't like knocking men either, because I know men are encouraged to be providers, and you know they have all this weight on their shoulders. Even though some of this generation of men, that provider mentality is way out the window. Yeah, but
they want you to go 50-50, but they still want you to hold your role as a woman, and they don't want to hold their role as a man.
And they
so
don't
it's like, how are we going 50-50? Yeah.
And you're not taking like 50-50 of cleaning the house, 50-50 of helping me pick up the child from the school, 50-50 of cooking for the house, washing laundry.
Because it becomes a 70-30 at that point. It's like you're giving the 70%, and they're just there.
Yeah, that ain't even 70-30. To me, it's like 90-10.
95, because other 5 is just floating around.
If I'm bringing in all the money, I'm going to work and I'm coming home, taking care of the kids, and I'm cleaning, washing, and you just there providing the D. And that's 10%. The D is 10%.
And they was sweeping down. I do this, I do that, sir.
And they find it so hard.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
so
God,
hard.
I had to do laundry today. I had to clean
I
the
can't cook
tub.
right
It's
now.
so
I'm
nasty.
tired. I'm tired. I need a nap. You know
Bitch,
how
I
many
need a
times I need a
nap.
nap and I can't take a fucking nap because I got so much shit to do. And if I
Like, I
don't
need a
do
3-day
it,
fucking
nobody
nap.
else gonna do it.
Mm. Yeah, we need a
I swear it's hard to
vacation.
be a woman. Like I don't know. I've never been a man, so I don't know what it's like to be a man. But from what
I
I
hope you ain't
observed,
never been a man.
I have not. But from what I observed, it's just
I want to put
like
it out there that I've never been a man
I'm
either.
like, Shay, you should have told me something, girl.
I just want to be like, you don't know what it's like to be a man. You're right, because I've never been a man, so I don't know what that's like. But
I
just
wouldn't
from the
want to be
men
a
who
man
I
though.
observe, they come home and they get on the couch, they watch their sports, they wait for their woman to cook the meal, they play with the children, and then they go off and go to sleep. But then you do have some men who come home who, okay, well, what can I help with today?
Yeah.
Oh, I see you had a long day. You did a lot today. Let me take that weight off your shoulders. Oh, what could I do? Oh, well, we have a schedule. I pick the kids up, she drop them off. Like, I prefer scheduled stuff. That way I can actually see where you're putting in your effort. So if I'm seeing
Schedule.
that we're on like, we're really doing as a team, then I can't sit here and say, well, you don't do much. But when I'm saying I'm doing the majority of the work, I can't
You're
help but
pulling
to
most
point
of the
that shit
weight.
out. I can't help but to point that shit out and say, well,
But
I'm
at that
doing
point, what's the point of being in a relationship when you're pulling all the weight in a relationship? Like Steph said, just to get some dick, that's not. You can get it anywhere.
I can
You
do
can
it
get that
myself.
anywhere.
I can do it myself.
Yeah.
And that's the point here. It's like, like I said, I think we all have done it solo and we've done it with someone. So it's like, if I know I've done it by myself and you come in and now you're just an additional body that I have to look out for. Or like you said, Shay, like I like
add most of my plate.
I like things scheduled too. So I'm like, now I gotta fit you into my schedule. But if you're not playing the teamwork that I'm expecting from you, you fucking up my schedule. Because if I was doing it by myself, the only schedule I would have to worry about is the one that I'm creating.
Yours.
Yes. So it's like, again, shout out to Medea. I can do this shit. I could do bad by myself.
Yeah.
Point blank period. So if you're not providing the teamwork, I don't need no 90 look, like Rose said, you can get it somewhere else or you can do it yourself.
In the streets.
I know. I'm definitely gonna say I cannot wait to get a husband to where that's my partner. To where I feel like that is my partner, to where I really can say I depend on this person and they don't let me down. Like, they're there for me every single day. They do their part just as much as I do my part, not less than, not, like they literally do it every day.
I think we also have to understand that marriage is compromise, because we're not always going to get what we want.
And we're not. But at the same time, I feel like we're not going to, like you said, it's compromise. But that compromise doesn't have to be at the sake of one person doing all the work.
Yeah, I just don't want to feel like a slave in the relationship. I don't want to feel like I'm just the maid, I'm the cook, I'm the lay down and open my legs. I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel like I have a partner and stuff. I don't know how to verbalize that anymore so than that. I just don't want to feel like a slave in my relationship to where I'm doing much more than the other person. How did this get about relationships anyway?
I don't know. We drifted off because I was like, how does this have to do with work? But I feel
because we were talking about just women and how much we do, and then we went into relationships and
because
how women still do a lot. Yeah,
it
does.
Okay,
that's true. Yeah. But I agree with you, Shay. Like, at the same time, it's like, when you look for a partner, you want to find somebody who's going to support you, who you can rely on when shit goes left, who is going to communicate with you. I think that's a big thing in relationships, is communication, because that's the
it's going to give you your IV fluids.
But yes, you see that?
On
like,
time.
Shout out to Rose, because I'm like, Rose has been on top of her shit since shit went left. And this is why Rose's wife chose her because she knew that she was going to be down.
Threaten her though.
And when
I threaten her. She knows. I'll put some shit in her IV if she starts acting up.
She married you. I feel like when people marry someone is because they know that, again, marriage is about sickness and health, for rich or for poor. So it's like at the end of the day, you want to marry somebody who's going to be with you through the worst, not somebody who's going to throw you to the left.
Yeah.
So I look at the end of the day, and it goes back at the end of the day. If you have a good relationship at home, then you bring that good relationship to your job. And I feel like a lot of people who don't have good relationships at home bring them to their job.
Oh, the shade.
And with that said, thank you for tuning in to our podcast. Again, if you enjoyed our content, please subscribe to our channel, like, and comment. We love feedback. While you're at it, go follow us on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, and iHeartRadio. You can also find us through Instagram and TikTok. Also, if you have a topic that you would like for us to discuss, or if you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, feel free to email us. We would love for you to join us. Again, thank you, and see you next week for your weekly scoop serving.
Bye.
Bye.